If you've been feeling lower energy, slower recovery, and maybe thinking that your stamina isn't what it used to be, the issue might be coming from a place that people rarely think about. I'm talking about your mitochondria. They regulate inflammation in your body, they control oxidative stress, and they give you metabolic flexibility. Mitochondria less efficient means there's less energy, and those stresses build up. There are things that you can actually do to improve your health, improve your resiliency, improve your energy levels that can also support your circulation and mitochondria. What you eat definitely affects mitochondrial health. What are the things and foods that actually help? Well, hi, I'm Dr. William Lee, physician, scientist, and researcher focused on how the body heals itself through its own defenses. If you've been feeling lower energy, slower recovery, and maybe thinking that your stamina isn't what it used to be, the issue might be coming from a place that people rarely think about, and that is deep inside your cells. I'm talking about your mitochondria. These mitochondria, they're microscopic structures that are often called the power plants of the cell. And based on that description, I would tell you a little bit more about it because mitochondria do a lot more than generate energy. They regulate inflammation in your body, they control oxidative stress, and they give you metabolic flexibility. And what's even more surprising, and a lot of people don't realize, is that your mitochondrial health is connected to the health of your circulation, your vascular system. This is a 60,000 milliliters network of highways and byways that bring oxygen and nutrients to every single organ and every single cell in your body. The mitochondria affecting the cells that line the blood vessels, these are cells called endothelial cells, vascular endothelial cells. They are way more than passive paving stones inside your circulation. Your endothelial cells are active regulators of blood flow, oxygen delivery, immune signaling, and healing. And inside every single vascular endothelial cell is, you guessed it, mitochondria. So today I want to help you connect the dots between mitochondria, your energy, and your vascular system, the endothelial cells, to show you just how interconnected your energy and your circulation are. And I'm going to tell you what you can do to support this system for a better quality of life and, of course, healthier aging. So let's take a step back and look again at mitochondria. Now, your mitochondria convert oxygen that we breathe and nutrients in our bloodstream into an energy fuel type called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This is the molecule that powers every single biological function in your body. Your brain depends on it. Your heart depends on it. Your muscles depend on it. Your immune system depends on them. Mitochondria are also metabolic sensors. And what that means as a sensor is they detect stress and they can help your cells respond to injury as well. Now, we all have some amount of cellular stress inside our body, just like we are all sensing stress outside of our body. But inside our body, cellular stress is sometimes known as oxidative stress. And this, by the way, accumulates inside tissue. Too much oxidative stress wears down our mitochondria. So as we get older, our mitochondrial efficiency, just by wear and tear, actually the efficiency declines. But here's the thing, mitochondrial decline doesn't happen overnight. It's actually quite gradual. And over time, the number of functional mitochondria, the number of power plants you have in your body, can actually decrease. And the ones that you have left, well, they can be less efficient. And you might notice that in terms of your strength, weakened or fewer, mitochondria leaves you with less strength and less stamina. All right? And when that actually happens in your muscle, you just don't have as much energy, physical energy as used to. That happens in your brain. Guess what? You start noticing slower thinking, brain fog, mental fatigue. And when it happens in your endothelium, these are the cells lining your blood vessels. Your entire 60,000 mile circulatory channel, your entire circulation is affected. And that can be a huge problem when it comes to having enough energy, resiliency, and healing that our blood vessels actually deliver to us. You see, endothelial cells are needed for healthy mitochondria to regulate something called nitric oxide. And this is a key unlock to understanding that connection between endothelium, mitochondria, and function nitric oxide. Now, let me tell you about nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that's called a signing molecule that helps your blood vessels relax and dilate. What happens when your blood vessels dilate? Your blood pressure falls, which is a good thing, and you actually have wider blood vessels more relaxed. So you get better blood flow, less high blood pressure, better blood flow. Blood flows more smoothly and efficiently to all your organs. And that is actually what happens when your tissues need oxygen. Now, when the endothelial cells have good functioning mitochondria power plants, the vessels are really as flexible as possible, and they can deliver the oxygen that your tissue needs. Your vessels can respond to exercise, they can adjust to metabolic demands. Oxygen delivery always is efficient when the mitochondria is healthy inside your vascule. And nitric oxide signaling is important because when stress builds up on the mitochondria in your vascular cells in your circulation, the nitric ox signaling is actually less responsive. Less nitric oxide means the blood vessels are less responsive. The circulation doesn't dilate and adapt as well to metabolic and physical demands. And guess what? You're going to feel more easily worn out, fatigued, and harder to recover. So let me just recap this concept to you. Healthy mitochondria support the cells lining our blood vessels, our circulation. And these circulation tubes actually bring oxygen to your organs. Oxygen that we breathe that gets delivered to the tissue supports the mitochondria. So you need that mitochondria power plants to make all this happen. And when the mitochondria actually are doing well, you get more oxygen. So it's a positive feedback loop. But if you wind up actually having problems with the mitochondria, problems with responding to nitric oxide, you don't get as much oxygen delivered with less oxygen delivery, you get compromised mitochondria. All right, mitochondria less efficient means there's less energy and then stresses build up. So this is how your circulation and your mitochondria are interconnected. And this interconnection actually gives us a clue on how we can actually better understand fatigue that we can't otherwise explain, reduced exercise tolerance, I feel out of shape, and overall slower recovery. Now, clinical practice, I can tell you that we often see vascular changes in your circulation long before any major symptoms or diseases actually develop. And patients, often say, man, doc, I've got low energy, or I got some brain fog, or I just don't have really good endurance. Sometimes this is something that a doctor will ask you when they see you in the office. How's your energy level? Are you recovering as well as you used to? And what's actually happening at the cellular level is that you're signaling, your cell signaling with nitric oxide from your mitochondria and your vascular cells. Your endothelial cells might be shifting, might not be as healthy as you want it to be. What does all this mean? It's biology, right? Well, the good news is that this is the kind of biology that can be influenced by you through diet and lifestyle. So mitochondria and vascular health are responsive to both diet and lifestyle. So there are things that you can actually do to improve your health, improve your resiliency, or improve your energy levels that can also support your circulation and mitochondria. So I want to talk about some of these things. Let's start with exercise. Moving your body is one of the most important things you can do to stimulate your mitochondria. All right? And movement, exercise even helps your body make more mitochondria, more power plants. All right, this is something called mitochondria biogenesis, that if you follow the biohacker literature or the conversation, they talk about mitochondrial biogenesis. Simply put, it just means that when you exercise, your body actually gets a signal to make more mitochondria. That's a good thing, all right? Move your muscles, you're stimulating those signaling pathways, make more efficient and more energy systems. Exercise also does something else to your circulation, right? Remember, mitochondria, energy plants, circulation, delivery of oxygen, interconnected. And exercise actually causes something called shear stress inside your blood vessels. Now, I know stress doesn't sound like a good thing, but in this case, shear stress is really good. When you're actually exercising, blood is pumping through your blood vessels and the fluid causes shear. Think about it. If you ever turn on your faucet really wide and hold your hands under it, you feel those shear forces. So when you're exercising, that is the force that the veining of your blood vessels actually feels, that actually triggers nitric oxide, that signaling molecule that leads to vascular flexibility, more resiliency, better oxygen delivery, more relaxed blood vessels, better oxygen delivery, which ultimately helps your mitochondria in the blood vessels. Now, here's the thing you need to know. You don't need to have a trainer. You don't even need to join a gym. Even moderate activity, let's say walking for 30 minutes after dinner, even that can improve endothelial function and your mitochondria over time. You don't need extreme training. You just need consistency and regularity. So that's actually an interesting way, just using your body to move to stimulate the mitochondria and improve your circulatory function. Now, a little bit more on exercise. Resistance training adds another benefit, okay? Because your muscles, your skeletal muscle, like your bicep, it's one of the most mitochondrial dense tissues in the body. Makes a lot of sense, right? We need a lot of strength. Think about opening up that pickle jar. Really, a lot of muscle strength necessary. So, strength training, resistance training helps you preserve your mitochondrial density as we get older. So, you want healthy aging, do some resistance training, helps to build up those power plants in your muscles. How often? 2 or 3 sessions a week, okay? Targeting the major muscle groups that will actually help you have a noticeable difference in terms of better blood flow, more mitochondria, more energy in those muscle groups. Now, I want to talk about food as medicine because that's what I study. What you eat definitely affects mitochondrial health. What are the things in foods that actually help? Well, polyphenols. Polyphenols, you find them in fruits and vegetables, right? They found all over the place. So these polyphenols interact with the exact cellular pathways that influence mitochondrial function and vascular endothelial cells. So it's a double-barreled benefit. Foods that help your mitochondria can also help your circulation. So I want to tell you about what some of these foods are because they're things that you can actually easily get. Let's start with berries. Strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. These colorful berries contain a natural substance called anthocyanins. And guess what? Anthocyanins help improve the health of your endothelial cells, the cells lining the blood vessels. That's a good thing. Extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil provides polyphenols like hydroxyallocanthal. These bioactives actually help to reduce oxidative stress both in your blood vessels and for your mitochondria. Less oxidative stress, you actually get better preservation of and more efficiency of your mitochondria and better function of your blood vessels as well. You've probably heard that extra virgin olive oil is heart healthy. Well, this is one reason why we talked berries. We talked extra virgin olive oil. Now, I want to talk about green tea. Green tea, which is one of my favorite beverages, contains polyphenols called catechins. Okay, one of them is called EGCG, epiglycin-3 gallate. And these can stimulate your mitochondria and make energy generation in all of your cells, including your blood vessel cells, more efficient. So yeah, tea is kind of a relaxing beverage to drink, but guess what? It actually stokes up your power plants to be able to produce more energy. Pomegranate, another food that contains a bioactive called allagotannins. It's actually a family of bioactives. And these allagotannins, when we eat them, they trickle down to our lower gut. And guess what they do? They interact with our gut bacteria. These gut bacteria that interact with the allagotannins you find in pomegranates actually improve mitochondrial activity. These foods aren't magic bullets. They actually can actually just interact with the parts of the cells that influence both the mitochondria and vascular function. Now, beyond food, I want to talk about something else. That's sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, you don't have as much energy, right? That seems like it makes sense, but did you know that's connected to your mitochondria? During good deep sleep, your body is actively repairing itself. You think you're not very active, but your body's repair mechanisms are very active. And one of the things that happens during good deep sleep is your mitochondria are undergoing maintenance. All right, it's kind of like bringing it into the car shop in order to be able to have an inspection and a look over. Your vascular endothelial cells, these are the cells around your blood vessels, are also repairing themselves, rebuilding themselves from that daily wear and tear from stressors, metabolic stressors. So what happens when you don't get good quality sleep, right? And people who don't get good quality sleep, we call it chronic sleep disruption. That actually interferes with the function of your circulation. So it interferes with endothelial cells. You don't sleep well, your blood vessels don't flow blood as smoothly, metabolism doesn't work as well, and guess what? Your mitochondria doesn't work as well either. So you got to protect that sleep window, all right? Minimize late light exposure. Try to sleep in a really cool room. Don't expose yourself to a blue screen a couple of hours before bed. Don't eat a late snack at night. No midnight snacks. All these kinds of things help you get better sleep, deeper sleep, and your mitochondria have better maintenance, and your blood vessels get to fix themselves better. right? So remember, I'm telling you, your energy, your mitochondria, your blood vessels, your circulation, they're all interlinked. And sleep, getting good sleep, protecting your sleep is one way to keep those functions working as efficiently as possible. Now, there's one more concept I really want to share with you that's important if you want to understand how to protect your mitochondria, and that's actually a process called emphagy, M-I-T-H-A-G-Y, emphagy. All right. Now, emphagy is your cell's built-in quality control system. It's actually the way that your body identifies old, worn out, damaged mitochondria and puts them in the recycling bin, takes some out. Mito for mitochondria, Fiji actually for eating, Fiji. All right, that's Greek for eating. So basically, your body is able to actually spot the old worn out cells, eat them up, throw them out, recycle them, and make room for new, more efficient, high-performing mitochondria. That's really important. You want to keep on recycling the mitochondria. You don't want a buildup of old batteries that are not working really well. Think about that flashlight where all those batteries are starting to fail. A little bit less, you need all new batteries. And that's what Emphagy does. Call it mitochondrial housekeeping. And just like keeping your house clean and organized, your body needs to have your mitochondria organized, replaced, cleaned, and in good working order all the time. So when Emphagy is working well, your mitochondrial system remains healthy and adaptable. And that's what we're really looking for as we age. One of the things that does happen as we get older, and this is actually a sign of aging that we don't want, our emphagy can become less efficient. It's actually one of the hallmarks of aging. We just kind of slow down our housekeeping for the mitochondria. And you know what happens is that damaged mitochondria can start to accumulate. They kind of build up. Think about those old worn out batteries that just sitting in a pile in your kitchen drawer. And guess what happens? Then your cell's energy production isn't efficient anymore. And in fact, it can start to decline. And then that can affect your circulation, your endothelial cells, right? Because your endothelial cells need these batteries as well. And when your endothelial cells don't have good emphagy to clean up its mitochondria, well, guess what? Those cells start wearing out and don't have as much energy as well. And remember, your energy, your power plant, and your blood vessels are connected so that when you don't have good emphagy, you don't have good mitochondria, you're not going to have a good circulation. You don't have good circulation, your vascular performance isn't going to be good. You're not going to get enough blood flow and you're going to feel worn out, fatigued. You're not going to be as resilient. And when that happens in the brain, you get brain fog. And the muscle, you wind up actually being more fatigued. Recovery isn't as good for you, and for healing is not as good for you, okay? Having said all that and the importance of emphagy, natural question is, what can we do to improve mitochondrial housekeeping? Emphagy. Well, guess what? Your body takes care of that for you. We actually have it built inside. We're hardwired to take care of it. And the way we take care of it is that our healthy gut bacteria, microbiome, healthy gut bacteria, can produce a substance called urolithin. A is an atom. Urethrin A. Okay? Your lithna is changing the way that we think about longevity. And here's what you need to know. Simply put, young, healthy people are great at repairing and replacing the cells that make our bodies work. But as we age, that ability to repair and replace cells is weakened. And this is where urethrin comes in. Urethrin targets a very important type of repair process deep within your cells and boosts it. To help you better understand how important this is, here's an analogy. Think of your cell phone and all the apps it runs. What happens to those apps when the cell phone's battery dies? Useless, right? You need to recharge. Well, your body is similar. We call the batteries inside your body mitochondria. They power your brain, your heart, your muscles, virtually everything. And every day, your mitochondria provides the energy that your body needs to function, but they can wear out. And replacing the mitochondria is essential. It's one of the master switches for health and longevity. Until recently, we didn't have any supplements that could help, but the team at Timeline changed everything with the development of MTOPure. Mopure is the only clinically validated form of urolithina that's been shown to clear out old damaged mitochondria so that new powerful ones can take over. In clinical studies, MPure increased mitochondrial renewal by 39% and improved muscle strength by 12% with no change in exercise just in 4 months. The science behind MPure is so strong and the repair processes it targets is so important that it changed the way that I think about long-term health and longevity. Mid-to-Pure is a tool to help us stay healthier longer. Right now, you can get a free 3-day starter kit of M-Pure gummies. Don't miss this offer. You can find it in the link below. And what's important to emphasize is that targeted strategies like exercise, diet, sleep, supplementing with erythina, all of them work best when they layer them on top of each other. You need foundational lifestyle habits. All those factors work together to protect your mitochondrial function and energy. I just want to summarize. Your mitochondria are about energy. They are your power plants, but they're not just about the energy. They influence how your vascular system and the endothelial cells and your blood vessels regulate your circulation, and that controls how well your tissues are oxygenated. Your brain is oxygenated, and overall, that relates to how resilient your body is over time as you age. Healthy mitochondria supports healthy endothelial cells. Health endothelial cells support efficient circulation. Efficient circulation supports mitochondrial performance, all loop together, interconnected system. So if you want to support the system, what I'm going to tell you to do is to focus on 4 pillars. Number 1, consistent aerobic movement keeps your cardiovascular system going. Add a little strength training to preserve the muscle mitochondria, that density. Eat some polyphenol-rich foods that signal resilience to your cells. Stoke up that resilience. Keep those power plants working. Get restorative sleep that allow your mitochondrial to be maintained and for your blood vessels to actually be repaired. And then when appropriate, make sure that you do targeted eating and supplementation using strategies that are grounded in science, like activating, amplifying your urolithin. This is all stuff that's been supported by basic laboratory and clinical research. And the reason I'm sharing with you is that understanding these biological connections really will help empower you to make better long-term decisions as you actually want to age in a more healthy way. So understand your mitochondria, power plants, and your blood vessels. They all work together, are all interconnected, and you can make those choices that support both energy and vascular health. Now, if you found this information helpful, please subscribe to my channel. This is where I break down the science of how your body defends and heals itself, so you can actually make really pragmatic, simple, everyday lifestyle decisions that will actually help you with healthy aging. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Hey, if you like that video, then you're going to love this one. Check it out.